welcome to the July 20th episode of This Week in Esports. That's right, it's already Thursday. We are coming to you live from the Microsoft campus here in Redmond, Washington, showcasing Mixer Magic. This tall drink of water. His name is Rikari Asen. I'm, of course, Kate Yeager here.
Queen Kate Yeager, right?
Queen Kate, that's what they call me.
You let me know that right
It's
before
what
the show
they call
started.
me.
That's what I've heard.
So I call myself. I've been gone for a couple weeks, but you've been holding it down.
Oh, well, you know.
Very much appreciate
it's tough to do. It's tough to do.
Well, you know,
Big seat to fill. But you guys are no stranger to this show, so we're going to tell you a little bit about it. FTL, which is a unique protocol for streaming at a sub-second latency and interactivity, where viewers don't just watch. You guys get to actively participate in what's happening on screen. Long story short.
read it.
Yeah, you guys get
So
to talk
be
to
nice.
us, more so Queen Kate over here, who does have her computer in front of her.
And our producers back there.
Sometimes she will respond to you.
I might do it.
In a scary sort of way, yes?
It's true. I'm pretty scary. But nowadays, let's talk about esports, because there's so much to talk about, and we'll get into the scene from last weekend. Oh my gosh. But at any rate, we only have half an hour. You get to decide what we talk about. You get to hear what you want to hear about. And how do you know what's coming up next and what's going on and all that stuff?
Well, you're going to see voting options that appear above your screen or somewhere on your screen. I can't remember where they are. You get to see
above.
it again.
It's
It is
right
above.
there.
I thought so. I thought so.
Exactly.
So get those votes in if you want to hear your favorite esport discussed. But before we get into that, the segments that we've got for you this week, we start this show and every show with a little treat that we like to call Clip of the Week.
That's exactly right. And this one pulls at your heartstrings already. Even if you're not into the fighting game community, even if you're not into esports, in which case, kudos for watching. But even if you're not, this is from EVO, which happened, of course, this last weekend over in Vegas. Huge fighting, basically the Super Bowl fighting game community tournaments.
Very much so.
Throughout the entire year. So after a full day of high-level gameplay from a variety of titles, came down to Street Fighter V as the game to close the night out. Not surprising. So after player I knew I was going to get his wrong.
Taquito. It's right there. It's not that bad.
I love taquitos. Anyway, he took down Punk, listen, Punk, power to you, but we all were kind of asking for it. In the grand finals, one of the commentators gave a passionate plea for why he thinks fighting game tournaments are some of the best in the world and why people will come back year after year. So let's see what he had to say.
What keeps bringing them back, you know? And it's
that fighting games are great.
Fighting games are great, and I really do I want to repeat a quote from our good friend Z, because he said this a few years ago, and it's always been one of my favorite quotes. And you know, you wonder why these people come back and year after year to play. And he said, "Evo is love, L-O-V-E. If when you hold that L and run it back, Evo."
Yeah.
And that is the best way to put it. EVO is love. The people come back because this event is unlike anything else in the entire video game world.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible year. Thanks for joining me as always, James. It was good to have the tears this year.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
All right, and thank you guys. Thank you everybody at home for watching. And we will see you again next year for EVO 2018.
You doing this one? Just a bit?
How do you not?
Well, thanks to EVO for providing a weekend full of delights. If you follow us on Twitter at This Week Esports, you would know that we have an interview with Martin Wyatt from Gfinity coming up later in our IRL Esports segment at 3:15, which you actually get to be a part of for the first time ever. Now that you're not sick.
Sorry, the dengue fever was real. So was the struggle last week.
So just make sure to stick around to hear what's happening in the UK scene.
In the UK, exactly. And he's actually going to be talking to us from the UK live. It's very exciting.
Say that like the internet hasn't been
I
around
just
for
wanted
years
to let
and years,
everyone
and the
know that we are
interpersonal
actually
communications
broadcasting
are.
in color today. At any rate, let's talk about what we're talking about. We've got some options for you. What would you like to see? Okay, I've got my vote, but that's just because I'm that person. So we got four really fantastic esports that we can talk about. That is pretty much up to you. So
Counter-Strike, Street Fighter, Gears of War, and Halo, and we've got...
By the way, this just scratches the surface of what happened last week in esports.
Oh, it's insane. There's too much to talk about.
Too much. Oh! Gears of War?
Gears of War.
Hey,
like
okay, let's talk Geodubs.
Go ahead.
I'm going for it, because we know you like to watch the show every week. The Gears story we're about to cover should seem very familiar, as we announced it only last week when I wasn't here. Well, we've been working with our friends at the Coalition, known for their Gears of War series, and given that the current season is on break before Season 2 of Gears Esports begins, we are about to debut a new series, which I'm very excited about, that delves into the storylines of the Gears Pro scene called Gears Esports Off-Season.
Now, the Gears Esport offseason presented by your friends on this show, This Week in Esports, will be starting next week, Wednesday on July 26th at 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on Mixer.com, WAC Channel 1.
Okay, I know that MK says slash, so will I. This exclusive 4-episode series, just 4, which aims to keep fans occupied with Gears Fight Nights on hiatus, will be taking a look at what goes on with GOW pro players as they reminisce on Season 1 and get prepared for Season 2, which is right around the corner. Always a good idea to talk about the two.
Well, if there's a break in the action, you got to get to the players. Absolutely. So to provide the better on Mixer experience, our very own Kate Yeager, this lady right here, Queen Kate Yeager, will be hosting each show along with the player who was featured in the episode. Each broadcast will conduct a Skype interview with that player, and we'll also hold a viewer Q&A session for you to ask any questions your heart desires.
Any of them. So next week's episode will focus on a recent playtest players were invited to in Vancouver, where of course EA is, and we'll EA. Well, EA is in Vancouver, but that's not why they were there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Coalition's in Vancouver. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Anyway, we'll also take a look at some of the drama that occurred during Season 1. It's live. It's live. This is what happens. So we'll have Kenny from Optic Gaming joining us for that Q&A session. So make sure to get your questions ready for him after the episode concludes. So this is your chance to talk with actual esports pros.
That's true. So stay tuned to This Week at This Week Esports and at Esports Gears for more information as we ramp up to the show. And since we're doing this live and this is our chance to talk, to the talent and whatnot, what does Queen Kate Yeager like to eat? If you had a snack of choice.
You know what?
You said earlier it was taquitos, right?
I love taquitos. I'm not going to lie to you. You know why? Because that's not what I'm about. Taquitos and then that vegetable stuff that you put the cheese in, that the cheese is in there, and it's like a little steamer pack. If my boyfriend is watching right now, he's going to laugh real hard because that's my late night.
Late night, yeah. Taquitos and vegetables. That's great.
Boy, speaking of Counter-Strike, voting options. Let's talk Street Fighter V, Marvel vs. Capcom, Halo, or, of course, the Counter-Strike.
What do you think it's going to be? We get to see it here. Have you looked?
I haven't looked, but I'm going to say it's probably CSGO.
Nope. We've got Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so let's do it. This could be the last big competition for UMVC 3, as players and tournaments will shift focus to the new Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite when it releases in September. That didn't stop this year's dramatic competition, though, with FGC favorites, that's Filipino champ and Justin Wong, eliminated early from the tournament. Now, this, of course, is coming from Evo. The grand final came down to defending champ Chris G against relative newcomer and Las Vegas local Ryan LV. Now, Ryan has played Marvel vs. Capcom since the first release and has made a name for himself at the locals and with a runner-up finish at Combo Breaker last year. In a big upset, Ryan LV took the winner's final 3-0 and beat Chris G again in the grand final in a much closer 3-2 series. So congrats to you, Ryan. Yeah. It's like you don't have to go far to win, and it makes it so much better. It means you get to party with your friends afterwards and maybe eat some party taquitos, yeah?
Yep. It's always a party with taquitos.
I'm not letting that one go.
I'm starting to sense that, Ricari. Famous last words. Let's talk about what you want to hear. We got, let's see, what's coming up next? Street Fighter. Wait, I saw Street Fighter, Counter-Strike, FIFA, or Halo. Get some love to the Halo guys.
Yeah,
maybe I jump in.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay. So the regular season play of NA and EU HCS Pro Leagues has come to an end, said Base. Meaning that next on everyone's list is the Summer 2017 final taking place this weekend at DreamHack Atlanta.
Always a DreamHack event.
Dude, there's a lot of DreamHacks going on right now.
Actually, my Twitter, I'm like, there's another.
I know. Well,
crazy.
It's great. So the action starts tomorrow in the tournament area of the Georgia World Congress Center, with the final match taking place Sunday morning at DreamHack's main stage.
Now, this championship bracket will feature 16 teams, the top 6 NA teams, the top 4 EU teams, as well as 6 open bracket teams. It's pretty exciting because it's an increase from the original 10 HCS Pro teams and 2 open bracket teams. Now, the NA teams coming are Splice, Optic Gaming, Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, Luminosity, and Team Envious. The EU teams are Vex Gaming, Supremacy, Invictus, and Team Infused.
Man, you got a lot of Halo talent right there. So at $200,000, the prize pool for this year is the biggest for the HCS Open to date, with $25,000 going to third place, 40 going to second, and a whopping 60 G's going to first.
Could use it.
It's like a car.
That's a few cars where I come from.
I mean, that's like a parachute. I mean, what? Anyway, there's also a Halo 5 free-for-all tournament open to all attendees with registration open now online. Listen, first place take home 2,000 big ones. So if you're headed to DreamHack, consider signing up.
2,000 is a car too. I'm just saying.
That might be your entire trip to
That's
DreamHack.
true.
It's
That's
Atlanta.
true.
How hard can that be to get to?
Round 1 of the winners bracket starts tomorrow at noon. You can catch all the action on Twitch, YouTube, or head to halo.gg for more information. And what's that?
And also mixer.com/Halo. And also a little shout out to Lamas, who's actually not with us, unfortunately, in the studio today. He's actually helping out over in the other place.
The other place.
Yeah, it's a place with all the other television sets. See, don't say I don't read the chat. Anyway, what are we talking about next, Ricari?
All right, we've got Counter-Strike, Street Fighter, FIFA, and Smite, and we're going to jump into some CSGO.
Yes, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Go right ahead, please.
Counter-Strike PGL Major Krakow 2017 is taking place right now in the beautiful Krakow, Poland.
How'd you know it was Krakow? You knew it was Krakow, but you couldn't say
Because I
Taquito?
watch things.
Okay, all right, I get it.
I didn't know Taquito, that's fair. So the Swiss system wrapped up yesterday. Swiss system is great because you start off with a best of one series. So you basically get all of these people out real quick. And now there's where someone's being called in my ear. Anyway, the Swiss system wrapped up yesterday with 16 teams competing for legend status and a way into the 8-team quarterfinals. Now remember, 8 teams have already been invited because of their legend status based on how they did in the last tournament. So big team led. Sometimes it's hard to read things. Team Big.
There we go.
They did lead big day 3 with a surprise sweep of the Swiss system, winning all 3 of their matches and taking the first quarterfinal spots with Gambit Gaming. Now, in addition to Big and Gambit, Team Astralis, known, of course, as the former E-League champs, North, SK Gaming, the dominance out of Brazil. Virtus Pro, who sadly has been giving me some, so sad. Anyway, Fnatic and Immortals won their group rounds to advance. Now, with Cloud9 sent home, North America is out of the running, even though technically some of those teams like SK are considered North American. They're not actually. Basically, they consider North America sometimes in the Latin America and the Brazil and the whole thing. Anyway, competition is left to the European and Brazilian teams. I have a prediction, and it's going to seem really stupid.
Please. You think it's going to be a North American team?
No.
Because that would be
stupid. No, I think SK is.
Oh, yeah?
I think, yeah, it's going to be SK. Come on. They've been, I want third major.
Okay. Just like
They
that.
got Cologne. Don't do that.
What?
Did you just flip me off?
No, I wouldn't like this. Goodness gracious.
This is love for Kari.
All right, that's love. Goodness gracious.
Speaking of
my
love.
Gosh.
Hey, speaking of love, we're going to do something else live.
All right, here we go. So one of the goals of this show is to highlight the amazing people and events that happen in the esports and competitive gaming space and give them the recognition that they so rightly deserve.
They do.
The love, right? There are
Yes.
esports fans out there who don't know that they're esports fans. This was me not too long ago. So we'll put it to us to educate those fans and bring them into the fold.
Because we are inclusive, not exclusive. Every week we try to feature a different personality in the space, and this time we have someone from Gfinity, not just anyone. He's one of the top tournament organizers in the business with Gfinity, and they recently renovated their London studio, and we'll be talking to the head of partner relations, that's worldwide partner relations, Mr. Martin Wyatt. Martin, joining us from Skype. I heard your camera is down, so we have to deal with this really stellar photo
No,
of
that's
you.
a great photo. That makes me jealous of any photo that I've ever had.
Look at this. You're like a villain. You're like a Batman villain. I'm very impressed.
I'm telling you now, it's like 11:15 at night here. That photo looks much better than I do at the moment.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about you. Who are you? What do you do? Tell people who might not know a little bit about yourself, your history, and what you do at Gfinity.
Yeah, so I run partner relationships at Gfinity globally, which basically means I've got a really cool job. I get to fly around the world talking to all the games publishers about esports and how we can help them deliver their programs and just do some really, really cool stuff. So it doesn't take much for me to get out of bed in the morning. I'm a very lucky man indeed.
That's excellent.
So we talked about this a little bit on the show last week. Gfinity has upgraded their London venue for the new Elite Series. Can you tell us more about the venue and how the team plans on using it?
Yeah, absolutely. About 2.5 years ago, we opened the Gfinity Arena, which was the first bespoke esports arena in a studio in Europe, I think, definitely. And then with the introduction of the Elite Series, which launched 2 weeks ago, we decided that we really wanted to improve the levels of production quite dramatically and start driving content and entertainment and competition that, like the Elite Series itself, people hadn't necessarily seen before. So we spent a lot of money on the studio and the people that run it, and it's turned into a fantastic space. So it's effectively 4 times the size of the old arena that we had initially. It enables us to do some very, very, very cool stuff production-wise, and then that also puts us in a position to kind of offer that facility to our publisher partners and commercial partners too. So it's cool. We're doing some really cool stuff. The content's great, the competition's amazing, and we're having a ball.
Man, well, and what a great location too. You're just at the epicenter of when there's so much. We were just talking about it before we went on air here. This weekend alone. Oh, yeah. The esports scene was everywhere in the world. I don't know about you, but my Instagram, my Twitter was like Krakow and Valencia and, Shanghai.
Vegas,
like, it's nuts. It's nuts. So having a London base is fantastic, especially since these teams fly around everywhere. I can imagine that would be a fairly useful thing for you guys. Yeah,
absolutely. London's one of the most diverse, culturally interesting and exciting cities in the world. So why not have a sort of a fixture, a firm fixture of the home of esports there? Makes sense.
I love it.
I'm thrilled because I get to go to London for the first time in a couple weeks.
I used to live in London for a time.
But then you better drop by.
I know. Look at that.
Watch.
See?
Hey, we're gonna make. Please, I'm going to make that happen.
He's gonna make this a nice little snippet and send it to you in an email. It's gonna come. So obviously the Elite Series has been going on for 2 weeks now. We've seen a lot of gameplay. We got Street Fighter, Rocket League, Counter-Strike. How can people, like our viewers, get themselves on that stage one day?
Well, that's the most beautiful thing about the Elite Series is it's open to everybody, and we're trying to unearth the next superstars in these games. So the reason we created it is we wanted to create and build an aspirational progression path from casual gamer to amateur to semi-pro to pro, all the way through. So people can enter something called the Challenger Series, which you can do via gfinityesports.com, or you can just play in competitions that we're putting on every night, do well, get ranked up. If you get ranked up to the right level, you'll be drafted by a pro team. It's that simple.
That is pretty darn simple.
Yeah, although it's not simple to be as good as you need to be.
Well, yeah, no.
Because let's have some reference.
Have to be pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. For sure, but it's awesome that there's also that vertical. There's also that path that's I can understand it as a lay person on the street. Well, I'm not that, but
You are a competitive Clash Royale player.
I am a competitive Clash Royale player. Just kidding. So, okay, so Ricari's going to ask our last question.
All right, so
here.
favorite question on the show. If you could tell the skeptical folks one thing, to know about esports and what they should do to get into it, what would you say? What are your sage words of advice?
Well, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. The most beautiful thing in the world about esports is, that all the boundaries have been removed. So if you like playing games and you like playing them enough, and you're good enough, there's a place for you. So I think esports brings the passionate, competitive spirit to the fore, and no matter where you are, there's a place for you.
See, gotta love that. I'm gonna
that's
get
awesome.
teary-eyed
Look
just
at
like
that.
James.
Do it, yeah.
Man,
Right.
I'll tell you something. You're a pro. You should do this for a living. Martin, thank you so much for fielding our fun questions and generally
Lovely
being
talking to you both.
the coolest. First of all, where can people find you, and anything next you want to pimp?
Well, in about 20 minutes, you better find me in a pub in London. No, you won't. You can find everything you need to know about Gfinity at gfinityesports.com.
Fabulous.
Sweet, well,
Martin
thank
Wyatt,
you
man.
again.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I'm going by there, right?
Oh,
I hope you know.
I'll be honest with you.
That invite.
If I was gonna say get some Nando's, if I do not get a selfie with you and Martin,
I might have to film a segment for this show there and be like,
Might
let's take a
have
tour.
to?
Oh my goodness. No, that's work though. I don't know. We'll see. You ready to jump into our next segment? Because I don't want anybody to get an idea and be like, this is great. Let's send Ricari with some camera equipment. No,
you
let's not
heard
do
it. It's happening.
All right, so we've got
Nothing.
No, it's not. Summer games done quick. Street Fighter, FIFA, and Smite SPL. What do you think we're going to talk about?
Oh man. Oh.
This section's going to be very long because I see what it is right here.
So okay, one of our producers, I keep calling him Lamas.
That's Tabby Llama.
Tabby Lamas.
Tabby Llama. Yeah.
He's on the chat. He's there. He is. Yeah, there you are. He is a huge fan. Huge fan of games done quick.
And speedrunning.
Speedrunning.
We've posed this question before.
So here's what I'm going to say before we even get into this. Speedrunning. What is speedrunning? It is going through games super fast and often with other challenges associated with them, like perhaps blindfolded and things, which we'll get to in a hot second. So let's just set that up right there. Summer Games Done Quick concluded last week, having taken place from the 2nd through the 9th of July. Speedrunners ran over 130 games while raising just under $1.8 million for Doctors Without Borders, Gaming for Good here, which shattered the previous year's record by almost $500,000. Yowza.
Insane. There are a few runs we have to highlight, starting with the Super Mario series Warpless Relay Race. This is where 3 teams of 5 speedrun their way through the Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3 Lost Levels and Super Mario World without any warps.
None.
It is an absolutely hectic race, but all 3 teams managed to finish within 4 minutes of one another. That's when you know you're down to like, just technicality is key. It's all muscle memory, right?
This is so
4 minutes
interesting.
within one of another. That's insane.
It's fabulous. So another favorite would be The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, all dungeons, swordless run. Yeah, you heard me, swordless, although not flawless. The commentators in Couch make sure the run is full of laughs, which is always good, because anytime you're doing something like this, you have to have a little bit of humor.
And last to check out, what you're seeing on screen right now is the Super Mario 64 100% run, where the current world record holder collected all 120 stars in 1 hour and 41 minutes, and I am hot about that. No way. Cheezo5 had a fantastic run and pulled off some amazing tricks. So if you want to see the speed running at its finest, that is the run to watch. I actually do quite enjoy watching Super Mario 64 speedruns. I will say that.
Yeah.
That is one I do watch.
So remember, you can watch all the speedruns from this event, youtube.com/gamesdonequick for some VOD speedrunning action.
I'm really mad at that 1 hour and 41 minutes. I literally had a flashback and was thinking to...
got
not now. I can't pause this.
Well,
8 hours a
understand.
day for like months on end. I'm like, oh, I got 65
Sorry.
stars.
If
Oh,
only it benefited you in the long run.
That's true.
Oh,
Good
wait.
point. Good point. All right, good point. Well, we are ready to move on to our next segment, which you voted for. Your choices were Smash Brothers, Street Fighter, FIFA, and the Smite SPL, and we're going to jump into some FIFA. Let's do it.
True story.
In case you didn't realize it, the line between real-life sports and video game sports are slowly blurring. Very slowly. And we have our friends at the EA Competitive Division and Coke Esports to thank for that. FIFA has always been a competitive game to play with friends, and now Coca-Cola Gaming and football club Paris Saint-Germain are coming together to bring you the Coke Esports 2017 eCopa tournament.
Okay, so this tournament will allow one lucky participant, very lucky participant, to join the real-life football club Paris Saint-Germain and their esports team as they compete in FIFA 17 tournaments around the world. Not a bad gig.
Not at all. 5 to 10 years ago, you would call us crazy if we said real football clubs are fielding their own teams on the virtual pitch, but that's exactly what's happening here, and it proves how far esports has come from its humble days of people laughing at the concept of watching someone play a video game.
The tournament started earlier in the month with 4 days of open knockout qualifiers. From there, 16 players advanced to the round-robin stage where 4 groups of 4 players each faced off until only 2 remained. Those 2 players are Doofman.
Doofman. Yes,
Just
that's a
saying.
good one. That's a great name.
It strikes fear in the hearts of so many. And I want to say WNU Fiddle or We Knew Fiddle. Anyway, we'll be facing off this Sunday, mano a mano, July 23rd on mixer.com/ecopa. That's ECOPA, starting at 11:30 in the a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Now, the winner of the match will not only claim a spot on the Paris Saint-Germain esports team, but he will join players Raw FIFA 13, is that Aggie, and Dax, who are already sponsored esports players for PSG and are looking to make their team one of the best in the world. I figure
Nice.
you got to be. I mean,
Anything worth doing is worth doing right.
you just got to keep picking up all those good players.
up all those.
So there'll be a slew of events happening this Sunday during the show, including show matches, celeb sightings, and of course the finals going down later in the evening.
Now, the competitive side of FIFA has been on a tear recently, wrapping up their Ultimate Team Championship, and they're about to head into the FIFA Interactive World Cup, which will pit 32 of the world's best footballers against each other to claim the fame of the best FIFA 17 player in the world. Now, that tournament will be going down in London, jolly old, next month, and keep it locked to at This Week Esports. There's no
No, I
article.
always do that.
This Week Esports, at This Week Esports on Twitter, and Battlefly
Yeah,
or Fly?
that looks like Fi.
Battlefy, thank you. Battlefy.com/ecopa for more information on this FIFA tournament and other competitive titles.
So it's funny, every time we start talking about all these games and people playing them and the competitive scene, I just go back to like my friends being at the house and the competition that ensued there. Esports has its root in friends arguing with one another. And it's just wonderful to see. And I think of FIFA, which I'm not good at.
No.
But goodness gracious, we used to draw, like our whole basketball team played, and we would draw on the board and we would have leagues. So it's funny to watch all this happen. I was like, man, why didn't somebody make a business out of this so much sooner? Like we could have all been living different lives.
No,
it's great.
There's some really cool books and things you can read that go into the history of esports.
There's a lot of books that
There's a lot of books that we could have read. Rate console wars. That's a good way to start at any rate. But also, while you're doing that, don't forget to vote.
That's true. And we're ready to jump into our next segment. So we've got Smash Brothers, Street Fighter, League of Legends, and Smite SPL. And God, we've had Street Fighter up there for a very long time.
Well, I was going to say, of course they're going to. Honestly, I'm actually surprised this didn't happen sooner with EVO having just went down. Just gone down. Let's talk about it. Let me give you a riddle.
Street Fighter and Smite tied.
Oh.
So we actually need to jump into Street Fighter. All right, that's good. We'll do it. Let's do it.
Okay, we'll tie it. Okay, so let's give you a riddle here. What do you get when you combine 2,600 Street Fighter competitors, thousands of fighting game community fans, and national TV coverage on, I don't know, ESPN?
I've heard of them.
I think so. EVO 2017, of course.
Every year, EVO brings amazing stories and thrilling matchups. Actually, you saw our clip of the week earlier. This year, the final match filled the 12,000-seat Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas and didn't disappoint the fans.
No, it did not. Team Echo Fox competitor Tokido lost to Panda Gaming's Punk in the winner's quarterfinal, but then he fought his way all the way back, a rags to riches story, through the loser's bracket to face off with Punk once again in the grand final.
The grand finals proved to be a redemption for Takedo, who played as the less popular character Akuma against Punk's Karen. First beating Punk 3-1, got the reset, then 3-0 after the reset happened in the grand final.
I mean, you're talking about...
That's convincing. 3-1 is one thing to get the reset, but then 3-0?
Exactly. There is no qualms. So now with EVO 2017 behind them, Tapico, come on, Kate, Taquitos, I love them. Taquito, I think you're awesome. So you are the new Capcom Pro Tour point leader with Punk close behind, but everybody kind of, again, respect to Punk, because he's incredibly good at what he does, but everyone, I wanted to see it happen.
Well, I wanted to see it happen at the same time Punk was representing U.S., and we talked about winning on U.S. soil, right? And it was one of those things where I was like, come on.
It's Vegas, U.S., it's so...
It was great to see. It was great to see. All right. Well, is it?
Oh, it's upcoming tournament. So I'm so sorry. Here's the thing. Just an FYI, we're going to talk about upcoming tournaments right now, but I will say that this is one of the issues that, not issues, but here's the deal. There's so many esports, and especially during the summertime. Make sure to get your votes in during the broadcast, because we just don't have a lot of time to do this stuff, okay? Things happen. So let's talk about what's coming up here, and that, of course, would be a lot of dream hacking.
Yeah, right. DreamHack Atlanta starts tomorrow for a multitude of games such as Halo, Rocket League, Street Fighter, and H1Z1. If you live in the Georgia area, we advise you to check it out, as it's one of the few times you'll see a multi-game environment like this one. Check out atlanta.dreamhack.com for ways to watch the tournament.
One of my favorite esports reporters, Sue, is going to be there.
You going? You should go. It's just Atlanta, right? It's easy to get to.
You know, it's just, Atlanta. Okay, Rocket League NBC. Yes, this is exciting. So, NBC and Face It, of course, being the gaming site, have teamed up to start a 2v2 Rocket League tournament. Now, the cool part of this, besides, of course, the chance at a $100,000 prize pool, is that some of these matches will be played on TV. Like broadcast TV. Qualifiers will be ongoing this week and this weekend, so head on over to rocketleague.com/universal, and they're open to learn more about this tournament. Learn more about it. I'm telling you, once we get into the NBC, can you think of another more mainstream thing?
No, you're absolutely right. I see why you're excited.
So excited.
I see why you're excited. All right. And next up is For Honor. For fans of this unique brawler game, ESL and Ubisoft teamed up to run the For Honor Hero Series, in which they run weekly 1v1 tournaments, and top players will be invited to compete in a live event going down next month. Check out ForHonorGame.com's whack. I almost said slash. Hero Series to find out how to enter.
Slash it all around. Anyway, it is just about the end of our show, so I'll just say a big sign-off and thank you for watching.
We'll catch you at our regular time on Thursdays at 3 p.m. on Mixer Channel 1. Be sure to follow at This Week Esports. I did it right that time. And at Mixer Channel 1 on Twitter for more information and updates on the show and what's happening in the wide world of esports.
Wide world. And don't forget, we have our debut of the new Gears of War series, Gears Esports Offseason. I'm going to have to get that right. Next week, that's Wednesday on July 26th at 5 p.m. So basically watch Wednesday at 5 and then Thursday at 3.
Only 2 days you need to watch.
That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nobody needs to go see.
Just
tips and
2
tricks.
times with Queen Kate here.
Yeah,
and you'll be good.
And apparently we're giving away some prizes during our live Q&A sessions, which I did not know about, and I am very excited about now. Yes, so make sure. Oh my God!
So
Okay,
those
we
aren't
got
getting
some
given
fun
out. I
stuff.
just need to make sure I
we
get
got some
them
fun
on
stuff.
my desk.
It's just
Great.
anyway. So stay tuned right here, and thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next week.